Vinyl record collecting is a fun and immersive hobby. Whether it's new music, old music, whether it's casual or serious collecting, there's really no wrong way to do it. But there is one thing that all collectors have in common. We have to get our records from somewhere. So today I'll go over some of the places that you can add to your list when hunting down your vinyl grails. So, welcome in if you're new here, and welcome back if you're a repeat offender. I'm Johnny, and you're tuned to Channel 910. Physical media is great. You can hold it, you can feel it, sometimes you can even smell it. But you can't download it. You have to physically obtain it. But where do you go? How do you get your grub nubbins all over those records that you so desire to add to your collection? Now, you can always gear up and head out into the happy hunting grounds of your local record stores or local record fairs, or you can just, from the comfort of your recliner or your hammock, order right there from your phone. Now, you could always haggle with a seller or just pay the asking price. You could even participate in vinyl record auctions online. There's a lot of options. So today we'll take a look at some of the more popular options and maybe perhaps some things you didn't know existed for vinyl record purchasing. All right, so we'll start with some options that actually require you to get up and leave your house. The big box stores. So we're talking about your Walmarts, your Targets, your Best Buys, and if you're overseas, places like HHV or MediaMarkt, any of these stores you're familiar with, you walk in, they're huge, they have a lot of everything, and there's that section in the back, usually, where they have the electronics, where they have the books, where they have the DVDs, the CDs, and of course, the vinyl records. Now, these places are going to have all brand new records, nothing that is vintage, nothing that's secondhand. Everything is going to be sealed up, usually with a hype sticker on it. This is also where you can go to get some of your exclusive color variants. So you're talking about mostly your very well-known stuff. You're not going to find a lot of independent releases. You're not going to find a lot of obscurities. These are going to be the ones that are kind of like collection essentials, more or less, and a lot of your new releases. So if that's what you're looking for, there's honestly absolutely nothing wrong with the big box stores. It's a great way to get into music if this is the only option you have near you. Sometimes you live, especially in the United States, you're rural and the closest thing to you is a Walmart. You don't have independent record stores, which we'll talk about in a second. So contrary to popular belief, Walmart and Target and Best Buy do not have vinyl record pressing machines in the back of the warehouse where they're pressing these records. These are the same records that you're getting from the artist web store or from your local independent store or from Amazon or wherever else it is you order. These are the same records. It's just maybe a different color variant that was made specifically for these stores. So not to worry, there is not a vinyl record sweatshop in the back of Walmart where they're pressing these records. So for people to say, like, oh, it's a Walmart record, it was only sold there. It's exactly the same as any of the other versions that you'd buy anywhere else. So now independent stores, also known as mom and pop stores or brick and mortars, these are the ones that will be violently defended online, and sometimes rightfully so. These are the ones, your local record shops. They're going to specialize only in records or music memorabilia per se, not like a Walmart or a Target where you've got, baby clothes and tennis shoes and cosmetics. You're not going to have that. This is a music store. Kind of harkens back to the days of like Sam Goody and Musicland, where you had stores that were dedicated just to the sale of music. So these are the ones that you're only going to find one, maybe two locations on the entire planet of this store because it's your local shop. These stores are typically associated with Record Store Day. So if you're not familiar with Record Store Day, this is one day out of the year minus Black Friday. It's technically 2 days, where record stores, independently owned, will have exclusive record store day releases, whether it's live albums, demos, brand new releases, reissues that are hard to get. Record store day was designed to bring people out to their local record stores, and keep the hobby alive. It's a great thing. So it's mainly an awareness event for local record stores. These are an option if you have them in your area. If you live in a bigger city, usually there's a lot of these close by. I used to live in the Kansas City area, and there was a ton of stores locally and independently owned. That was a great option. You get to know those owners one on one. They get to know you. They get to know your buying habits and your desires, and they can kind of help you build your collection, making recommendations. You don't get that at Walmart. So definitely there are advantages to the independent stores if you have them in your area. So now record fairs or record shows, record conventions, they're all the same thing essentially. It's a giant, convention center that was rented out, and vendors from all over the area, sometimes all over the country, come in to set up booths and peddle their records. It's a great opportunity to see a lot of independent sellers that you would not typically see in your area because, like I said, they come in from all over, and you get a lot of variety amongst those sellers. Sometimes, if the show is structured well, you'll have sections where maybe it's just like oldies or rock or techno, or hip hop, and it's all kind of genre separated. So it helps you a little bit with what you're looking for in your record hunting experience. Now, record conventions can be a little overwhelming if you go to some of the big ones. I know in the States you have the Austin Record Convention. There's some big ones that take place up in the Northeast, like in Philadelphia. Over here in Europe, where we are currently, the largest record show on the planet, hosted by none other than Record Planet, takes place in the Netherlands twice a year. And it is no joke when they say it's the biggest on the planet. It is a bit overwhelming, but it's a great opportunity to get out there, mingle with other sellers, mingle with other buyers, and kind of get a feel for the experience. That's really what these record shows are. It's the experience. So definitely have a hearty breakfast and get out there and dig in those crates. But record shows are a great place to go hunting. Okay, so these last two kind of shift gears a little bit. It still requires you to leave the house and get out and go to these places, but they're very hit and miss, and they're not always in the same place. First off, we're talking about antique malls and flea markets. Now, flea markets tend to be a little bit nomadic, at least in my experience. They're not always necessarily in the same place, and it's not always necessarily the same vendors. Antique malls tend to stay in the same spot, but the vendors can change out. So the records might be there 1 month and gone the next month. So it kind of ebbs and flows with these types of places. Now, these places also are, they're pulling records out of basements and attics. They may not have been clean. They may not have been taken care of very well. So it's kind of a crapshoot with what you're going to get. And the prices can vary. You can go in. I've been into antique malls where I've picked up MoFi presses for $10 for like Steely Dan, for the Doors, for Eric Clapton, because they're in a bin of like, hey, all this is $10, and I lucked out. I've been to other places where you find a standard reissue copy of the White Album for $300. So, it is what it is. You kind of you just got to dig through those crates and see if it's worth the hunt. And this last category is the one that can really be hit or miss. We're talking about yard sales or garage sales or boot sales if you're in Europe. These can, again, just like with the antique malls and the flea markets, you're kind of, you get whatever you get. There can be some hidden gems. These are the yard sales and garage sales are where you hear about people finding a Beatles butcher cover for $2, or you find that those original pressings of Pink Floyd or Led Zeppelin for mere dollars. So it's it's one of those where you could luck out. You could go to a place where somebody thinks that they know how to research and they've just gone with the maximum price on everything they've found. And so, you're going to be seeing that beat up copy of Dark Side of the Moon, and they're going to want $150 for it. So, you take your wins and accept your losses, but garage sales and yard sales can be a great place to find some hidden gems. So, what are the overall benefits to going out there and physically looking for records? Well, number one, it gives you the ability to physically inspect what it is you're about to purchase. And if you're in like an independent record store, you could possibly go over to the listening station and listen to it as well. The other thing, especially with these types of physical, like going out there and seeing it, you may run across something that you weren't exactly looking for. You went there looking for one thing, and as you're flipping through the crates, you see something else that catches your eye or piques your interest, and you find that next hidden gem that you weren't necessarily looking for. So, physically going out there can definitely benefit you as a collector. Now, how can it be a disadvantage? Because it can in ways. And I think the number one reason overall is simply the logistics of physically going out and hunting for records. I mean, you have to get in the car, go to the place. You need to have a bag or a crate if you're going to like a record show. You need to stand up, crouch down, stand up, crouch down. You're digging through crates. You're getting dirty. And then you got to lug those records with you the rest of the day. You got to drive all the way back home. You get the point. There's a lot of moving pieces to going out and physically getting the records. So that is a little bit of a disadvantage. And product availability, to be honest. You might be going, you load up with all that stuff that I just talked about, drive all the way into town because you're wanting to get that new Taylor Swift record, and then you get to the store and you find out, yeah, we sold out yesterday and we don't have those in stock right now. You may want to try down the road, and you go down there and they're sold out too. So, or you're going to look for a specific vintage record and you go digging through the crates thinking you're going to find, that copy of Wish You Were Here, and lo and behold, they don't have it in. So now you've driven all the way out there for nothing. And yeah, you could pick up the phone and call possibly if they pick up, but you're taking a chance either way. So physically going to the stores to look for stuff, there's advantages, there's disadvantages. Now, if you like what we've talked about so far, and maybe you like the video, if you think this could benefit a fellow collector of yours, share the video with them, helps us out. And if you're not subscribed, why not? It's free, and then you'll get updates anytime we upload new videos. So, on to the next subject. Let's talk about some buying options that are available from the comfort of your own home. So, surprise, big box stores. Yes, big box stores like Walmart, like Target, like HHV, they have websites. And you can go to those websites and you can place those orders. And some of those stores have options to deliver it right to your house, to hold it for you at the store, and then you just go pick it up from customer service. There's options there. So big box stores, they're big for a reason. They've got the market cornered. You can go to them or they can come to you. So that is an option for online purchases. But not to be outdone, independent stores also oftentimes have websites, and you can order from them directly and have it shipped to you or have them hold it on the side for you to go pick it up whenever you have availability. There is also, in coordination with Record Store Day that I was talking about earlier, a website called RSD Market. You can Google this and pull it up. And what it is basically is a database of Record Store Day releases, Record Store Day essentials, independent record stores that are all part of this network that you can go through and search for that record you've been looking for. And it will tell you amongst its network of independent sellers who has it. So it's usually available as far as Record Store Day goes 24 hours, I think, after Record Store Day is kicked off. So Record Store Day is always on a Saturday morning. It'll kick off there and it'll go 24 hours. So Sunday morning sometime, the RSD market will open up online. So yes, you will have to physically go to Record Store Day to get those releases, but whatever's left over is available the next day if you weren't able to make it out. Maybe you were working, maybe there wasn't a Record Store Day near you. This is a great option for those individuals. Now, another option online is the artist's website. Now, I caution with the artist's website for two reasons, and I'll get into those here. But up front, if there's an artist that you like, go to their website, go to their store, and there's usually a subscribe option at the bottom of the screen somewhere. Subscribe to them. I know you'll get emails and you might get text messages, but if you're the individual that after the album is dropped and then you get angry because you didn't know that it was out and now it's sold out and you missed out on that deluxe edition, just subscribe. You'll get the notifications. That's how these people know when the stuff comes out. So highly recommend doing that piece. But what I will caution against when it comes to artist websites, two big things that I've experienced with artist web stores. Number one, they do not know how to ship properly. You will usually get your record in a box that is too big for that record. Oftentimes, with it, banging around in the box, and you'll get seam splits. You may get tears on the shrink. So you have to be careful when they think that the proper way to package a record is to just throw like 2 sheets of bubble wrap, throw the record into a box that's like 15 inches by 15 inches and about 3 inches deep, and then just send it off to you. That's not the proper way to do it, guys. So potential damage of your stuff is number one. And number two, they charge a lot for that shipping. On average, artist web stores are going to charge anywhere from $9 to $12 for media mail, which for those of you who don't know, media mail is the cheapest method to ship vinyl records. This shipping is usually about $4.78, just under $5 in the United States to mail the record for a single LP. Double LPs might cost you, $5.30. So whenever you get hit with like $11, $12 to ship the record, you know that they're gouging you for a few extra bucks on top of the price. So just be aware when you do order from the artist store, that's usually what you're going to get hit with. So just be cautious. Now, another place that a lot of people go to now because it's the largest database for online record cataloging and record purchasing, and that is Discogs. Now, Discogs is exactly what I just said it is. It's an online cataloging system where you can go in and search by either the artist, the album title. You can scan barcodes. You can put in run out matrix numbers. A lot of different ways to search for these things, but it will bring up specific pressings. So whereas for a good example, Sgt. Pepper has somewhere in the neighborhood of 478 different pressings. You can find them all on Discogs and narrow it down to that exact one you're looking for. And then you can go in and see if anyone has it for sale and you can purchase it. Now, the problem with that on Discogs is grading, and that's going to be kind of a theme that we're going to cover here towards the end with disadvantages, but it's very evident with Discogs because when you look at a listing, it'll have the title, like the artist, the title of the album, the year of the release, and then it'll say media and sleeve. And it'll grade it from anywhere from fair, good, very good, VG plus, near mint, or mint. Those are very loose definitions for Discogs sellers a lot of times. So I have ordered stuff from Discogs it says VG plus, and it comes in and it's barely a VG. Plays with a lot of noise. There might be a scratch or two, but they've graded it as VG plus. I've ordered stuff that's VG plus that comes in that I would honestly grade as near mint. So some graders are very conservative. Others have no idea what they're doing. So you have to be careful with Discogs. Also, you will not get pictures of the items unless you request them because Discogs, I guess, doesn't have the server space to allow sellers to put photos of each item, their specific item, on there. So you have to actually request it and then go back and forth through messages or emails with the seller. So Discogs can be a great place to find a lot of stuff, but you have to be careful. Amazon. Not a lot to say here other than Amazon is basically like the big box stores, just without the store. It's all online. Amazon does carry unique variants of certain albums sometimes, so that can be an advantage. But and kind of like with the artist web store as well, Amazon doesn't always ship it to you the way that you want it to be shipped. They're getting better. I will give them that. They have gotten better over the last few years. I guess a lot of complaints, but it's kind of a crapshoot with Amazon sometimes. But again, it's a place where you can go online and search from a huge database of products, and you can always order from them the same way as you would from a big box store. eBay. Now we're getting into a different realm of online purchasing. Auctions. Now, eBay does offer buy it now options if the seller chooses to do so. I will say that here at Channel 910, we have an eBay store. You can go there. Everything is buy it now. You can just go in and grab it. Other sellers do use the auction method. So you can go on, and if they've chosen to run it for 1 day, 3 days, 1 week, they put it in for the price they want to start it at and let you, the buyers, determine where that price goes. So it can be fun and exciting. You can go in at the very last second and try to put your highest bid in there on eBay and win that item. So there's a level of excitement, almost like gambling with eBay, that a lot of buyers really like that experience. And you can get a lot of great deals doing it that way, because some people will start their items for only a dollar. And let's say it's a $100 record, it might end up selling for only 85. So you get a good deal on it. Sometimes it does get bid up. So you have just be cautious. And again, the same thing kind of goes with the grading. You kind of have to take the seller at their own word. However, they can put multiple photos to kind of give you an idea of what it is you're buying. Whatnot. Probably the one that the least amount of people watching this video might be familiar with. This is something that I hope more people do become more familiarized with moving forward. It is a great platform for purchasing vinyl records. Again, Channel 910, we do participate over on Whatnot. This is kind of like taking eBay and YouTube and making it one thing. This is live streaming with auctions. So if you go on Whatnot, create the account. I'll put links in the description to all of our Channel 910 accounts out there. But if you go into Whatnot and you have an account, you can go into different rooms for different sellers, and they're literally live. It looks just like what you're seeing now, only in live format. And the biggest advantage to Whatnot is if the seller chooses to do so, they can play the records live for you right there on the air. You can hear the quality of what you're getting. You can see the actual product that you're bidding on, and you get to interact with the sellers as well. So it's kind of like taking the independent store feel, because you're getting to know somebody on a personal basis. You get to actually see what it is you're purchasing. You get to actually hear what it is you're purchasing in a lot of cases, but you don't actually have to leave the house. So it's like taking the best of both of these worlds and merging them together for your benefit as the collector. So, Whatnot is a fantastic method of buying vinyl records, and hopefully, we actually see you guys over there in the streams. So I saved this one for last on in this particular category because honestly, it's the most sketchy of all of these, and that's any kind of social media marketplace or any of these person-to-person exchange sites. I know there's a lot out there that allow you to go on and buy stuff, but they're not. They don't seem legit, and if something smells like a duck and looks like a duck and quacks like a duck, walks like a duck, it probably is a duck. So you got to be careful with stuff like this. And Craigslist used to be the thing back in the day that was like super sketchy, but I think all of the marketplace stuff has become like a haven for shady individuals selling stuff. So just be careful with those, whether it's Facebook, whether you're purchasing somebody, on Instagram, or you're using one of these no-name kind of side sites that sell stuff. Just be careful. All right. So when it comes to online purchasing, what's the overall benefit? I mean, honestly, it's the least amount of effort. Somebody else has already done the legwork. They've gone and found the items. They listed them in their store or their website, and you just go and purchase it. There's very little effort when it comes to actually going out and picking this stuff up. So the logistics becomes a lot easier as opposed to physically going out. Now, the overall disadvantages. Now, I mentioned shipping earlier, and shipping can be a whole other subject that we talk about, but that's a big disadvantage because number one, you usually have to pay for it. Some places do offer free shipping, and that's great, but you're also putting that record that you just paid your hard-earned money for, whether it's $5 or $105, it's your money, and you want to see your stuff get to you in a good condition. And once it leaves the seller's hands, hopefully they packed it well, but it still has to go through the postal service. So shipping is, you're taking a chance every time you put something in the mail. So always something to kind of be careful for. And I kind of already talked about it earlier, but it's the trustworthiness of the seller, regardless of what platform you're ordering from, whether it's the artist's web store, it's eBay, it's Amazon, or it's over on Whatnot. You've got to have a lot of faith and confidence in the person who is selling you the item, and sometimes people will take advantage of you. So you have to be careful with that with any kind of online purchases. So that's yet another disadvantage to the online market. All right, guys. So what did I miss here? What's your favorite buying method? What's your least favorite buying method? What is something that maybe, I talked about it, but I didn't hit a certain aspect of that method? Let me know down in the comments. We always love to have the discussion and build on the vinyl community. But that's all we have for today. So until next time, keep them spinning, my dudes.